Now, a viral appearance at Union Station. Did you see this video? Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, they went to D.C.'s Union Station yesterday to meet with the National Guard troops there that are deployed to help deter crime in our capital. They wanted to thank them. Well, protesters showed up and began heckling them, and Vance did not hold back.
This is the guy who thinks people don't deserve law and order in their own community. It's kind of bizarre that we have a bunch of old, primarily white people who are out there protesting the policies that keep people safe when they've never felt danger in their entire lives.
Show that a majority of D.C. residents don't support the Guard here. So what's your message to the majority of D.C. residents?
I'm highly skeptical that a majority of D.C. residents don't want their city to have better public safety and more reasonable safety standards within Washington, D.C. I don't know what poll you're talking about. Maybe the same polls that said Kamala Harris will win the popular vote by 10 points.
Wow. So Vance's response lighting up on social media. One user writes, liberals losing the narrative in real time. Another said, in other news, D.C. is now so safe that elderly people can protest without fear. And a third person writing, imagine being this passionate about letting criminals roam free. Later on, Vance explained why he decided to make that trip in the first place.
I had heard from a couple of friends who used to avoid Union Station because there were vagrants and there were crazy people screaming at kids, that they avoided Union Station. But over the past 9 days, since the president did this emergency order, it looks a lot better. It feels a lot safer. How many people are living and breathing today because Donald Trump had the willpower to say, you know what, we're sick of D.C. being a home to lawlessness.
Republican Congressman Pat Fallon of Texas, member of the Armed Services, Intel, and Oversight Committees, joins me now to talk about this. I think it's really strange to keep hearing this talk about how the majority of D.C. residents don't want this. They think the city is safe. We talked not long ago to a woman who was sexually assaulted right next to Union Station in broad daylight while she was running an errand, and her attack was never recorded in the D.C. crime stats. It's baffling to me that people would come out and protest National Guard troops who we know are trained to protect us.
These kind of folks are probably paid. They're professional protesters, and there's going to be an element of society, unfortunately, that have Trump derangement syndrome, and they will protest anything. They're going to protest that the sky is blue, on a nice summer day. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've lived in D.C. I worked in D.C. for the last 5 years, and it is incredibly dangerous. And I'm 6'1", 230 pounds, and I never felt really that safe. And Union Station was a hovel. It was disgusting. And you know what? Let's just look at the data. I mean, the murder rate in D.C. was 6 times higher than New York City. The murder rate of 27 per 100,000 in Washington, D.C. was higher than Atlanta, Chicago, and Compton. It's one of the most dangerous capital cities in the world, and President Trump has taken bold action where, of course, Biden and others wouldn't.
Well, and AG Pam Bondi is, letting everybody know what the folks are doing out here and what the crime stats are every single day. And she just updated us saying that they've now made a total of 630 arrests and seized 86 illegal guns in D.C. I don't know how that's a bad thing. I want to move on to this topic now because you sit on the Oversight Committee. We've got another senior aide to former President Biden who is testifying before the committee today. Ian Sams, we all know who he is. Huge vocal online defender of the former president. He was a so-called spin doctor, his go-to crisis handler. He's voluntarily speaking behind closed doors. He didn't have to be subpoenaed about a variety of things, including the possible cover-up of the former president's mental decline. And we all remember when the Hur report came out, Congressman, and Ian Sams describing it, saying that, some of the commentary from Hur was gratuitous, that it was wrong, it was inaccurate to say that he was an aging man with memory issues. He was losing his memory. What do you think we're going to get out of this interview today?
You know what we're doing here, Aisha, is getting them on the record because they are fabulous professional liars. We saw with our own eyes and ears. The good Lord blessed all of us with trillions of brain cells between our ears. And we saw for 4 years the systemic decline of Joe Biden. And now to sit there and get these folks on the record under oath to say, was he competent or not? Was there really a conspiracy of this protectionist Politburo, if you will, of close aides that limited his public appearances, that limited the media's access to him because he couldn't function on a daily basis? We all saw it unfold. And then that disastrous debate in June of 24 left no doubt whatsoever. But they're still continuing not only to spin and lie, but now they're going to do, some of them are doing it under oath.
Well, where does this go then, Congressman, if one after another aide comes in and defends President Biden?
Because you always, this is why you conduct investigations, Aisha, because you might get someone that actually tells the truth, and it's very inconsistent. You might get that smoking gun, might get somebody to say, you know what, we did A, B, and C, and then they start to crack. That's why whether it's something petty or something serious like this. And also, our offices filed legislation to ensure that the auto pen can only be used for ceremonial stuff, for answering, a letter from Trevor, who's an 11-year-old Boy Scout from Iowa, not to have,
Right.
force of law legislation.
Okay, Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you for joining us on the program today. Good to see you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.